Ride, a little out of place here though, wouldn't you say?
I'm on my way home from work. Logistics manager over at Consolidated Freight. Bought it last year.
Registration on
It's in
you?
the glove box. I can grab it if you'd like.
Hands where I can see them. Turn around.
I'm cooperating, officer. My
Put 'em
hands
on
are
the
right
truck
here.
now.
There's a kind of quiet humiliation that doesn't explode right away. It just sits in your chest, heavy, familiar, like an old bruise you learn not to touch. Aaron Cole had known that feeling long before the night at the gas station. He knew it from locker rooms where people assumed he wasn't smart enough, from job interviews where the tone changed once he walked in, from the way strangers sometimes watched him a second longer than necessary, like he needed to justify taking up space. He'd learned to live with it, not because it was fair, but because fighting every assumption would leave you exhausted before breakfast. That night, Aaron was doing the most ordinary thing in the world, stopping for gas after a long shift managing freight schedules for a regional shipping company outside Briarfield. No rush, no drama, just a credit card, a pump, and the quiet math of how much longer until he could go home and sit down. His pickup was newer than most in that part of town, a reward he'd saved for over years, and he already knew what that sometimes meant. Still, he wasn't expecting trouble. He never did. Trouble, in his experience, usually arrived convinced it was justified. The patrol car rolled in slow, headlights sweeping the lot like a searchlight, and Aaron felt that familiar tightening in his shoulders before the officer even stepped out. Officer Daniel Reeves approached with the confidence of someone who had already decided how the interaction would go. He didn't introduce himself, didn't ask if everything was all right. He looked at the truck first, then at Aaron, then back at the truck, like the two didn't match in his head. "This your truck?" Reeves asked, voice flat but loud enough for the people at the next pump to hear. "Yeah," Aaron replied, calm, respectful, hands visible. "Just getting gas." "Nice ride," Reeves said, lips curling slightly. "Kind of out of place here, though, would you say?" Aaron had heard that line in different forms his entire life. He felt the old instinct to explain himself, to prove he belonged, and consciously pushed it down. "I'm heading home from work. Logistics manager. Bought it last year. My registration's in the glove box if you want it. Just tell me how you'd like me to get it." That should have been the end of it. It never was. "Hands where I can see them," Reeves snapped, stepping closer. "Turn around." "Officer, my hands are right here. I'm cooperating." "Don't argue with me," Reeves said, voice sharper now. "Step away from the vehicle." Reeves circled the truck slowly, peering through the windows like he expected the interior to confess something. "Where you coming from this late?" "Work." "What kind of work?" "Logistics." "At this hour?" "Yes." Each answer only seemed to fuel more questions, not clarity. Reeves kept glancing at Aaron's hands, even though they never moved. A woman at the next pump paused mid-transaction, watching quietly. Aaron noticed a reflection in the truck's paint and felt the situation shifting from private discomfort to public spectacle. "You nervous?" Reeves asked. "No," Aaron replied. "I'm answering your questions." "Got any weapons in the vehicle?" "No." "Ever been arrested?" "Why is that relevant?" Reeves didn't answer. Instead, he told Aaron to move to the back of the truck, feet apart. Aaron complied, jaw tight, breathing slow, every movement deliberate. He had spent years under military command, years learning how small movements could be misread, how calm was sometimes the only shield you had. "This car come back clean?" Reeves muttered. "Yes." "You sure?" "Yes." Reeves smirked, like the confirmation annoyed him. "You don't really look like the type that usually drives something like this." Aaron corrected him once, quietly. "It's my truck. I've had it 3 years." That was when Reeves noticed the wallet clipped inside Aaron's jacket. "What's that?" "My wallet." "Open it." Aaron did slowly. Inside was a card Reeves glanced at for half a second, before dismissing it with a wave. "That doesn't matter." "It should," Aaron said softly. Reeves stepped closer instead of verifying anything. "Turn around. Hands behind your back. Interlace your fingers." "Am I under arrest?" Aaron asked. "Not yet," Reeves said, like that made it better. "You're being detained while I figure this out." People were openly watching now. A phone came up behind them. Reeves noticed and snapped. "You recording?" The woman didn't answer, just held her phone steady. Reeves exhaled sharply, irritation bleeding through his professional tone. "This is what happens when people just don't do what they're told," he said, more for the audience than Aaron. Dispatch finally came back, confirming the truck was registered to Aaron, no flags, no issues. Reeves frowned. "That doesn't clear you. People drive cars that aren't theirs all the time." "That's not what you just heard," Aaron replied. "Don't tell me how to do my job," Reeves shot back, the confidence in his voice thinning. Then something changed. Reeves asked for the wallet again, slower this time. He actually read the card he'd dismissed earlier. He read it twice. The body camera caught the silence. His posture shifted, shoulders dropping just enough to notice. "You could have avoided all this," Reeves muttered. "So could you," Aaron replied, evenly. A supervisor pulled in moments later. Sergeant Linda Hayes took one look at the wallet, one look at the crowd, and the whole stop collapsed under its own weight. Aaron was cleared, quietly apologized to, and allowed to leave. Reeves said nothing. Aaron drove home that night with his hands still shaking slightly on the steering wheel, not from fear, but from the familiar anger of knowing how easily things could have gone differently. He didn't post anything. He didn't call a reporter. He went back to work the next morning like he always did. But someone else had uploaded the footage. Someone else had recognized the pattern. Within days, the video was everywhere, not because it was dramatic, but because it was ordinary in the most uncomfortable way. The assumptions, the escalation, the moment an officer chose dominance over procedure. Internal reviews followed. Prior complaints resurfaced. This time, the pattern mattered. Officer Daniel Reeves lost his badge quietly, without a press conference, without a chance to explain it away. Some people called it justice. Others said it was too harsh. Aaron never commented publicly. When asked later, he said one thing, calmly, the same way he'd answered every question that night. "I did exactly what I was told. No one should have to prove they belong just to pump gas." Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever watched something like this happen and felt that knot in your stomach? Have you ever been the one standing there, calm on the outside, boiling on the inside? Or the one holding a phone, wondering if you should hit record? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Talk about prejudice, abuse of authority, accountability, and what justice actually looks like when the cameras are off. If stories like this matter to you, subscribe, share it, and stay with us, because the next one might feel even closer to home.